Hello, it's Mike Hatchard here, and welcome to my tutorial on how to play La Gitane. Now, you're probably thinking, why the hell would I want to listen to Mike Hatchard tell me how to play La Gitane when there are some fantastic guitar players on the internet playing it wonderfully? Well, I took up the guitar when I was 57, about 5-6 months ago. I've always owned a guitar, but I've never really played it, and lately I've been playing it so much that I've given myself tendinitis. I'm so obsessed with it. The point is that some of the guys, especially guys from the Manouche, when they play gypsy jazz, they play it so brilliantly and so intuitively. Although it's fantastic to watch them, obviously, and you should, and if you play alongside them, absolutely marvellous. But when they try and explain things to you, they're not necessarily that good at it because they don't know how they do it. They just do it intuitively. Whereas when you're my age, if you take up the guitar, you've got to be pretty focused on what you do and very analytical about it because you haven't got a lot of time, so you've got to get moving with it. So anyway, I'm going to play La Gitane, and afterwards I'm going to explain how I went about learning it, which hopefully will be of use to somebody. That's all. So here's my version of it. this is how I went about learning La Gitane. I took a lot of the phrases that were quite difficult to play. For example, a phrase like that. Now, it seemed to me that if I took the left hand out and just did the picking, I would have... Okay, if that's not clear, I'll explain that again. That's the, in other words, whenever you play a new string in gypsy jazz, you always play a downstroke. So, and that's a challenge for a lot of people. It certainly is for me. Now, so with a phrase like this, the first 7 notes or whatever they are, the next 3 notes on the B string. So in other words, we get... That's the bare bones of it. That's the phrase reduced to the right hand picking on open strings. So I took every phrase in La Gitane that I wanted to learn, and I did it like that. And I would make an exercise on the computer, and I would start really slowly, maybe this sort of speed, like... something like that, and then I would increase it by maybe 5 notches of the metronome and play it again, until eventually I got up to about 150, where it started getting a bit tricky, and then I would just increase it 1 notch at a time, so I'd take it up to 151 and so on. And that way you don't really notice the increase in tempo because it's so small. And that was the way that I went about this piece anyway. And I've made a whole series of exercises that I've recorded. The whole process takes about an hour. But I've made a CD of exercises based on this technique. And if anybody's interested, do send me a PM, I think they call it, a private email. And I'll send you a copy of it for a very, very small fee. So I hope that's been of some use. The other thing I found, not having played guitar before, I found super glue on the left hand is a great way of avoiding too much callus on your fingers if you're not used to it. Just squirt some super glue out on a glass and then dip your fingers in very, very quickly. You've got to do it very quickly. If you don't, you end up gluing your fingers to the glass, and that looks a bit rubbish. Thank you.